What's going on? This is DC Capital CNC Gaming. I just arose from like a 40-hour binge of Halo Infinite last weekend. I had to sleep for 2 or 3 days, come back rejuvenated, or else I would have had a stroke. But let's go ahead and get into it. This game, it's like the bee's knees, sliced bread, all that. It's the good stuff. It's the
gaming.
First off, I want to get right into it because what we're all really here for is to see player versus player gameplay. 4 Spartans, crazy battles, lots of sandbox mechanics, lots of power guns, lots of BRs, lots of pistols, ARs, all the fun stuff. I'm gonna give you unadulterated. Well, there's like a break in the a little small break in it because my recording stuff had elapsed, but my very first life on Halo Infinite 4v4, so you can kind of get a feel. What I will say is that the gameplay is a bit fast, but after people played a few more games, they slow down because you realize when you run, when you sprint, you're on radar. But when you just go normal base speed, you're not on radar. So the gameplay is actually a little faster than what the gameplay is really like after people figured it out after a couple games. But check this out. Got like 10 kills in a row when I died, and then boom, first life. Let's go. Halo Infinite, White Boy Summer, we're in here.
M41 obtained. In a poof, they're gone.
Another one down. Over yonder.
Ammo reserves are low.
Enemies on me. Tango's closing in. Pop their shields. Over yonder. Enemy Spartans are closing in. We've lost a teammate.
Items available.
Watch my back. Lost a teammate.
Okay, generally I'll say that the player versus player balance is freaking awesome. These maps are awesome, the pacing is awesome, the power weapons are great, the base weapons are great, the AR, the pistol, it's probably like my favorite base loadout out of any Halo ever. Beyond like BRs, I'm talking about social layout. Like on Halo 3, you had the AR and you had that bunky pistol, and I love Halo 3. Halo 1, you had the AR and that pistol. That's probably the second best besides this. But in Halo Infinite, that AR, and this is all against real players right here, right now that you're seeing right now. We'll show some bot clips later, but I want to get all the PvP clips in here. The AR, it's accurate, actually not super accurate mid or long range, but it's good enough to get the job done. And here's the thing, it's viable for new players, but it also has its purpose for good players, to be honest. The pistol, large skill gap. That pistol's hard to use, the aim is difficult. This Halo is the hardest Halo out of all of them for aiming, for sure. But that's a good thing because that means the skill gap is higher. The way I'll say that, people really, like I said with the radar, they really learn to slow down. This game plays a lot like Halo 3, in my opinion. Against the bots, it seemed, different than that. I still loved it. It was great. But once you actually play it against real players, you say, okay, this is slow. This is in a good way, how Halo can be slow and methodical. This is like Halo 3 pretty much. It's everything I ever wanted Halo Infinite to be. It's freaking incredible. I love how the ping system's there. I think that's great because a lot of people don't have their mics on nowadays, or they're in party chat, they're not in game chat. It's a great way for communication because callouts in Halo is important. So I love that being put in the game. I think that generally the balancing is incredible. I think that it feels very competitive but also social. That's my favorite thing about it with player versus player, is it feels so accessible to someone who's not a big gamer, not hardcore epic gamer, but comes in and wants to have fun. You know, even an 8-year-old little girl. My daughter loves this game. She played like a lot of games, surprisingly. She really gravitated towards it, and she's not like that. She likes Halo, but not like that. She was like, wow, this looks fun. I really want to play it. And she was like still in the controller when I was going to the bathroom and starting up games all by herself and stuff like that. All I'm saying is that if an 8-year-old little girl and a hardcore Halo fan both like the game, that's something special. This is a technical preview. It's not even a beta. So these impressions are honestly, to me, are even better. The fact that I like it so much and it's just a technical preview, they're saying, you know, it's not even finished enough to be a beta yet. We wouldn't consider that. There was issues. Searching for matches, sometimes it would take long to load the match in. Sometimes you would get booted from the game. Sometimes the games would crash. Sometimes you get bugs. The bugs are pretty funny. To be honest, I think some of these bugs should stay. We'll go ahead and play some bugs here. We have bugs where, you know, people's body parts are morphing into freaking walls and doors and all sorts of crazy things out of the ground, and the body physics and mechanics that would like ensue are hilarious. I think that bug should stay. I like that bug. And one thing I'll say is with the skewer, this new gun, the skewer that shoots out like a large like metal skewer, goes through people, they should be able to make it stick through people and hit the wall and get into the wall, because the body physics are there for it, you know what I mean? For like we saw when they hang in the wall, the body physics are there for the skewer to like get someone and just be like jiggling in the wall. That'd be hilarious. Put that in there. Like, what are you doing, 343? We got other bugs where you hit someone or you get hit and you go flying like a million miles away, like in Skyrim when the giants would drop down their freaking hammer or whatever and you go flying in Skyrim. It's like the same bug. They probably put that in there. That's actually Bethesda, now that they're owned by Xbox, probably came to the 343 studios and programmed that bug into the game just because it's a big Xbox family now, baby. That's what I'm talking about. We love these bugs. Bugs aren't a real issue. It was all good. I enjoyed it. Like, you know, we hope we iron them out in the game, but it wasn't actually a lot of bugs. One thing I will say is that when you're playing real players, there were some netcoding issues where like you would hit someone and they wouldn't die when you feel like they should have died when you hit them, or like some bullets wouldn't register, but that's to be expected. And some rubber banding issues where like you're running around and like it's lagging and there's lag with the player versus player versus the bot. You didn't see that. I think that's the big reason why they didn't have much outside of 2 hours of player versus player with this technical preview, because they opened it up on Thursday night, closed it Monday morning, and you're playing bots the whole time except for 2 hours had player versus player. And those 2 hours were the best 2 hours of my life. My family thought something was going to be wrong with me. They'd never seen me get so sucked into something before. I was there. I was a Spartan. I became Master Chief. I lived my fantasy. It was incredible. Okay, so now we gotta show some sick versus bot footage. These bots at first, and a lot of people were saying they're having a hard time with them, but I'm nasty, epic Halo gamer, so to me it was just fun aiming practice. I got a perfection. Just for those that don't know, a perfection is 15 kills or more in a game without dying. I made sure to get a perfection against every difficulty of bot that they had. I was ouch here with these bots, as they might say. What I will say is that the way that the game plays with the bots is a little more fast paced than with real players. And honestly, if actually you get really good and you're playing maybe bad players, it might play out similar to how it plays with the bots. You're kind of just running around and like getting it done. But like I said, with the real players, if you sprint, you can see it on the radar, and the sprint only has a 9% more speed than the base walk speed. Being seen on radar for just a 9% speed increase is really not worth it. You gotta weigh that. So if the players are really bad and you think that even if they know where you are, it's not gonna matter, you can sprint on them and parkour and kill them and stuff like that. But if the player's competent at all, not like these bots, the game's gonna be a bit slower, which is a good thing because it calls for more strategy. It makes it more intense. All right, let's talk about the graphics, because we saw Halo Infinite last year. They showed some of the campaign. The lighting was looking horrible. The textures weren't looking great. There was pop-in. Wasn't looking awesome. Now where it stands today, Halo Infinite's art direction, I'm in love with it. It feels like Halo 3 had like this gritty realismness that some say that Halo Reach was the most gritty one, but I still feel like Halo Reach looks cartoony to me. Halo 3 had this very gritty, realistic look that to me still aged very well. It still looks good. I still like the way Halo 3 looks. And this has like a 2021 version of that. I feel like if Halo 3 never existed and it came out in 2021, That's what this game would look like. That's what the art style of the environments would look like. I got ADHD and I see a big wasp outside my window. Sorry. I'm ready to 4-shot BR on that wasp. Okay, no pun on a wasp being a vehicle in Halo Infinite. I'm just talking about the bugs. Okay, so this art style, like I said, the lighting is so darn good. There's like parts of the map where you see some like it's dark, you see some like blue fluorescent lighting, and it just looks so phenomenal. And the thing is that it's not like Call of Duty, like it's not like super realism. There's still an undertone to a style to it. And they just knocked it out the park, honestly. The Spartans, the way that the actual Spartans look like when the game comes in and it's like showing your Spartans, man, that is what a Spartan looks like now. To me, if you line up, take the Halo 1 Spartans, Halo 2, 3, Reach, whatever, all of them, 4, 5, line them all up, the Halo Infinite, and say which Spartans look like Spartans. What are we, when we think of a Spartan, what is it? It's Halo Infinite. It's so good. The grittiness, the realism. I played Halo 5 yesterday. I wanted to vomit. They look like laser tag plastic 3D printed armor. Like you see Halo 5 armor and it's like, it seriously reminds me of like Golf and Stuff Fantastic laser tag. Like, pew pew, I'm 12 years old. It's horrible, horrible. This looks like some real super soldiers. Whenever, because they have the Halo show, TV show coming out. This is what I hope it's like it looks like. If I ever go to a equivalent Halo Disneyland and I see a Spartan and I get to take a picture with a Spartan, this is what I want the Spartans to look like. This is what Spartans are. Halo Infinite. They did it right. 3 for 3. It has the best Spartans. It's not even a question. Now, there are some things I don't like about the game. Honestly, very few, and we're gonna get to that to the end of the game. Honestly, I feel like 3 for 3 just needs some praise. I've been hating on 3 for 3, hating on Halo 4 and Halo 5 for years. I'm just happy I can give them praise. So we're gonna go. This is a praise fest right now. We're gonna talk about the guns, the sound of the guns, style of the guns, sound design. First, hold on. The music. Yes. I love how they have the Halo 3 Warthog Run song in there, like the song at the end of Halo 3 when you're driving on the Warthog on the rings blowing up. They have that exact song, not even changed, remastered, remixed. It is the exact song. I know because I beat Halo 3 the night before I played Halo Infinite. It is the same exact song, same song. So this is like kind of like a museum. It's like mostly new songs and they killed it. It's totally that Halo vibe. It's still new, kind of like alternative rock, and I hate alternative rock, but they knocked it out the park. They still put some classic tracks in there. This is like freaking like Halo Museum meets new artistic look. It's heroin in video game form. You know what I mean? Before I even talk about the looks of the guns, the sounds of the freaking guns. This BR, it sounds like it's gonna freaking like, it's like boo boo boo. It just sounds like it's gonna rip freaking your shoulder off, your bicep off. It just sounds like it's fierce and like a grungy way. Halo 5 has the worst sound design, and I actually think Halo 5's multiplayer is fun, you know what I mean? But the sound design and the way the Spartans look, so bad. The sound design in Halo 5, the pistol, it sounded like a freaking tennis ball being hit against a freaking wall. Like someone, you know, in high school when you played like tennis ball, throwing it at a wall ball or whatever, it sounded like that. The pistol in this is like pop, pop, pop. The BR, it sounds like it's a monster. The Commando, a monster. The sniper rifle, oh, the first time I shot the sniper rifle and I heard it bangs, but then you hear the cracking of the sniper go into the mountains way off in the distance. Is this real life? This is incredible. How did 343 attain this? And I make music. I love sound design. I'm just saying this is like the best sound design. It doesn't sound like realistic. As realistic as like Call of Duty, but it has this style to it where it's beyond realistic. It's sci-fi and it's just so good. It's like Star Wars. Star Wars sound design is all-time GOAT. Let me just say that. There's not a sound in the original Star Wars trilogy that's bad. Like every sound in there is cracked to your ears. Okay, now the look of the guns. I honestly didn't like the look of the sniper going into the tech preview, but once I got my hands on it, it grew on me. I like it. Everything else I really like. BR looks so tight. The AR, the pistol, the needler, everything. It looks so good. I'm not even going to talk about it. It's just fire. There's nothing more to say. How do you describe fire? It's hot and it burns and it's lit. That's what this game is. It's lit. I can't even describe what it looks like beyond that. One thing that really stood out to me as far as the weapons, the shotgun, this new shotgun, it's like a blend of the pump shotgun and the tacky shotgun, the tactical, and Fortnite. It's so dope. They replaced the classic shotgun with this new shotgun, and I'm happy they did. This new shotgun is so fun to use. It like throws the bullets out. It's like a mid-range weapon almost, and it's viable close and mid-range. And it's just the way you can see the bullets being thrown out. It just makes it fun to use because you kind of see which bullets in the shotgun shot hit and which don't. If you have not played Halo Infinite yet, expect for when you play the shotgun is so fun to use. It's just a very fun. I can see a bunch of custom games being used where it's just like, just 4v4 shotguns would be really fun, to be honest. Okay, so here's the thing that really surprised me. So they got Jeff Sizer back with the Slayer, double kill, triple kill. We got all that good stuff. It's awesome. We have these new AI, which I think is genius. When I first saw it announced, I was iffy about it because I thought it was going to be like how I'm like trashing on Halo 5 a lot. I like Halo 5, like I already said, but this game made me realize the flaws of Halo 5 more. And Halo 5 with the Spartans, where their voices, they'll do call outs for you, be like, enemies at their sniper tower, enemies at blue base. And like, I hated that because that takes away competitiveness, and like your teammates in real life should be saying that. The game shouldn't be telling you where the other bad guys are. That's like cheating almost, I feel like, because it's not the radar. So if it's not the radar, then don't tell me where the enemies are unless it's one of my friends that are playing with me. That's like strategy. I appreciate that. I hold your hands. I don't like that. In this game, I was afraid they were going to do that because they were saying, okay, we're going to have AI that talk to you and you can pick your AI and pick the voice. And there's going to be other Spartan chatter from the, other people's Spartans talking. I was concerned that it was gonna be the same thing, but it's not. It's so dope. It's like the AI is hilarious. Some of them aren't, and it's really what you want. If you want like an AI that's like kind of quirky and funny and it makes you laugh, you can have one of those. If you want an AI where it's very serious and militant, you can have one of those. If you don't even want one talking to you, you don't have to have one, but it's tight. I start the game and my AI is like, become a raging tornado of violence. I would like to be a raging tornado of violence. That's why I'm here. Thank you. I mess with that. I appreciate that AI. Or like you smash an enemy with the gravity hammer and your AI's like Spartan potato mashed or something. It's incredible. I think it's hilarious. Or like I said, you don't want the funny stuff. You can have one that's like more militant. And I think that the possibility, like what if you had like Ryan Reynolds, like Deadpool, like not Deadpool, but like something like that as your AI? Like what if you could have Danny DeVito be your AI? Just think about like the future with the customizations, the monetization, the battle pass, the different AIs they can put in and how they can keep the game fresh. I think it's genius. And the Spartan chatter, I like the Spartan chatter too. They don't give call outs, they just give over yonders, and I love the over yonders. Howdy, over yonder. They don't give call outs, they just say, it just keeps the game feeling alive, and they sound like Spartans. Some of them sound like Western, some of them sound like more militant, some of them sound kind of like quirky, kind of like the AI do, but that makes sense because the UNSC, the Spartans, are people from everywhere. That makes sense that they would all kind of sound different. You're going to be able to customize that too. What if I can have Terry Crews's voice be my Spartan? I would love to have Terry Crews's voice be my Spartan. Things like that would be tight. I think that the Spartan chatter, picking your own Spartan voice, and the AI is so smart. It's great customization. It's going to keep the game feeling fresh as the years go on with more options. And I love that aspect. Honestly, that's my favorite thing that I was expecting to not like, and I like it. Let's talk a little bit about sprint. Clamber's where you can climb things, and sliding. The sprint, like I've already explained, it's really nerfed. You show up on radar when you do it. It's only 9% faster, but I like that it's there because, and I actually like hate sprint in Halo, but it just works in this game. It's good for moments where like you're getting shot and you just need to turn that corner just a little bit. You can sprint and use that. It shows yourself on radar, so another one person on that team might see you and kill you. It's a risk, but I like that risk-reward sandbox. Say you get a sniper and you're trying to walk up the tower to get to the top of the tower to use it, and you're going up the stairs. You can sprint up the stairs to hurry to get there. I like that. I like that mechanism of sprint, the way they did it. It's just enough to where it can help you a little bit in certain scenarios, traversal-wise, but it's also going to hurt you. It has the potential of hurting you. Generally, I think they just did a super good job balancing it. I think people who didn't like sprint in Halo like it, and people who wanted sprint in Halo, even though it's nerfed, like it. Everyone likes it. I don't know how they did that, but good for them. Climbing, this is actually probably my biggest issue with the game, and it's still good. The clamber works. I like how when you go to climb on something, if you don't jump on that angle just right, say you hit it too high, your Spartan actually has to fall a little bit before you climb. So that encourages you to have to at least be good at that timing of that jump. or else you have to wait an extra millisecond. That puts you at a disadvantage. Here's why I don't like Clamor. In Halo 1, 2, and 3, when you're jumping, it's like a platformer almost. To make certain jumps, you have to know how to crouch jump when you're in the air. With Clamor, it's much more, you just jump on anything and it does it for you. There's no skill. And Halo is all about skill. It's not a shooter where you're gonna go on there and feel like you're the best first time playing it. It actually has real reward for getting good. You know you're better than other players, and the best player wins, and that's why I love Halo. But with this game, with the Clamor, a lot of the jumps where you can do the Clamor, you can also do that jump, a normal jump with a crouch jump, if you time it right, which saves you time because the Clamor takes an animation. So they balanced it. I like that. Let the noobs do their Clamor and let the good players do their crouch jump, and the noobs have to put their back to the world while they Clamor, and they have to take a little bit extra time to do the animation. That puts them at a disadvantage. The noobs are happy they can Clamor. The pros are happy that the Clamor puts people at a disadvantage, so they're incentivized not to. Here's my only issue. There are some spots on some maps where the only way to make that jump is with the Clamor. So this is going to be a map by map scenario. Say there's a map where there's a lot of jumps where only you can obtain it by doing Clamor. I'm going to tend to probably like that map less. Where a map where there's ways to get to that spot without doing a Clamor or making that same jump with a very precise crouch jump, I think that's the way that it should go. I think every jump in the game should be an option of clamoring or not. Make it a skill thing. That's not going to be the case, but it's going to be a map by map scenario. All right, now let's talk about maps before we wrap up the things I don't like. I'm going to keep it sweet, simple. The 3 maps, I love them all. They're all incredible. I actually have a hard time picking which one I like best because at this point I like them all the same. Live Fire reminds me of a shorter, more compact version of the Pit. It just plays balanced. Even though it's asymmetrical, it plays balanced, it plays fair, and it has that militant training style. Recharge was the map I was expecting to like the least because it looked like a Halo 5 map to me, but it plays so good. It plays like Guardian from Halo 3, which is my favorite map of all time. It's asymmetrical, it has elevations to it. It's so good. It might be the best one of the 3, but I want to play free. I gotta play them more. I gotta play free for all on that map, on all of them, to really know. And then you have Bazaar. Bazaar is like, it's based in Mombasa. It's got that African aesthetic. I like it a lot. You got some Halo lore on the walls. This map is going to be so good 4v4 BR. The way it's built is you have a base on this side, and like a middle area, which is very exposed, but that's where all the power-ups spawn. You have the rockets, grapple hook, and overshills. They all spawn right in the middle. And if you get 4 players on each side with BRs, and you're like fighting over at the bases with the BRs, it's gonna be tight, it's gonna be competitive, and then those rockets spawn and everyone has to rush to get them. Ooh, it's gonna be something special. That map might be like the best competitive map out of all 3. I can see so many 50 to 49 games that are so dead close. It's going to be great for capture the flag. That map is honestly something special. Now let's talk about the things I don't like. Something I don't like is the sound of when you get hit. Not when you hit someone, that's fine, but when you get hit by someone, it sounds a little too crunchy to me. It sounds like Halo 5 crunchiness from sound design wise. I can honestly live with it if they keep it. But it's just something I personally don't like. Another thing I don't like, they nerfed the sniper a lot. It's my favorite weapon, and that's fine because I think there should be a skill range to it. The reticule's way smaller. There's way less aim assist, really hard to hit your shot. There's 4 less bullets in it now, and there's sniper glare. So when you're sniping someone, they can see a glare off your player, knowing you're sniping them. I want to see the sniper glare go, or 4 more bullets put in. I feel like all 3 things is too much of a nerf. Let me get no sniper glare. That's what I prefer. I feel like the sniper is already such a hard shot to hit. Players don't need to know that you're looking at them about to snipe them. They don't need that. That doesn't need to be there, in my opinion. Here's another thing I don't like. They took away red versus blue, and that's fine. I'm actually okay with that generally because I like to be able to show off my Spartan. They have the outlines on the players now. One thing I would like, give me the option to take off the outline from one of the teams, either where I can't see the enemy's outline and my team is all outlined in blue, or the enemies are outlined in red and my team is not outlined and maybe they have like a service tag over their head. Because the outlines are a cool way for us to be able to show our armor and to take away red versus blue. I'm cool with that, but generally it still makes it kind of hard to see the armor and to really show it off. And for that reason, I feel like only one team needs to be outlined. I'll know that the other one is the enemy if one of the other is outlined. So it would be cool for half the teams really show off, or half the players really show off their armor. There might be an option for that. I actually didn't even look, so I could just be talking out my rear end right now, but generally, if that's not already an option, that's an option I'd like to see. Here's the last thing I'm gonna say that I didn't like. When you die, okay, so the sound design, enemy footsteps are much different than your team's footsteps, so you can tell where enemies are. They're very pitter-pattery, which is good because that pitter-patters break through the bassiness of the bassy weapons, so you can hear them better. But when you die and you're just laying there on the ground and you're waiting to respond, when you hear enemies running around you, like right over you or something, it's like little pitter patters, and it doesn't sound like real Spartans. Like Spartans, you'd imagine thuds. So when you're dead and the enemies are running around you, I think that the footsteps should sound different than they do when you're alive, just to make it more immersive. You should be dead and the enemies running around you after they just killed you. It's like, it's more thuddy. You know what I mean? But right now it just sounds like Bambi pitter pattering around, which is, like I said, it's good game design for when you're alive, but once you're dead, it breaks immersion. That's pretty much it. Not big complaints, honestly. They're like nitpicks. I love this freaking game. I can't wait for it to come out. It way exceeded my expectations, and I was already Halo Infinite white pilled. I think I talked too long. I talked like a half hour, so I might need to cut some of this down. Comment, tell me if you're excited for Halo Infinite, if you got to play, what you think. If you didn't get to play, you got to watch, what you're thinking. One thing I will say is it plays different than it looks. The graphics, everything, the sound, it hits you way different when you're in front of it and you got the controller in your hand. Comment, like, share, subscribe. My name is DC Capital. I love Halo Infinite. It's incredible. Have a good one.